and good afternoon. We are joined for this week's Business Bites by the wonderful Liz McMichael, founder and director of IQ4 Business. Welcome to the show, Liz, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Lisa. It's a privilege. And thank you for inviting me.
No problem. It's a delight to chat to you. We've not seen as many people as we used to of late, have we?
No, 2 months of social isolation has been not very nice, but I must admit, without things like Zoom or Messenger videos, I wouldn't have been able to keep in touch with my family and friends. So yeah, thank goodness for social media.
The internet is good after all. And I'm going to get on, Liz, to the challenges that you've had under the pandemic and then the opportunities and things like that. But firstly, and for the sake of our listeners and viewers, can you tell me a little bit more about Liz and how you formed your career and what led you to launch and found IQ4 Business?
All right, well, let's do the condensed version. I had a career in research for 20 years. And when that opportunity stopped, I had to do something for myself. And I'd got to a point in life I didn't want to work for anybody else. So I thought, well, I can start a business. So I did, quite unsuccessfully for a few years, because what I was offering wasn't what companies wanted. And I sat down with a business mentor and said, yeah, I suppose I better get a job. And he said, well, have you thought about doing telemarketing? Because indirectly I had been working for one of his customers. A friend of mine had asked me to do some phoning for her, and it happened to be one of this guy's customers. And I thought, yeah, why not? So worked with some people to get the name, get the proposition, and set up a telemarketing business in Clitheroe out from my kitchen table about 5 years ago. And then the following year I took my oldest daughter into the business. So basically at the moment it's me and my daughter. We have an office in Clitheroe now, and we run a telemarketing business from those premises, and that works very well for us. So that's where I came to be where I am at the moment.
And I know because you are a fellow share member, and so of course I know lots about what you do, but give us some examples of work that clients typically ask you for.
Okay, well the bulk of what we do is, I suppose, it's filling a gap that people are not happy to do, and that is pick up the phone and talk to people. That takes up the bulk of our work. So what we're very, very good at is hunting and building databases and making sure that the data's good and clean before we even start the calling process. So we work very closely with our clients. We have their email. We have a VoIP system for calls that reflects their own local area code, so it looks like we're phoning from Bolton or Preston or whatever. The email is, we do as much as we can to make it seem like we're just in the back room of that company. So that's how we represent. So we basically become an outsourced business development service. Wow. And that can take the form of finding new prospects. So we go hunting for people in different sectors, different businesses, different locations. And start that whole communication dance of introducing our clients and their service or product to that potential new prospect. But then we do a lot of follow-up calls. We do a lot of, obviously most of it is cold calling, which we like. We're good at it, and we thoroughly enjoy doing it. So we do what our customers don't have time or don't want to do. So that's the bulk of what we do. But what we are very good at, we never buy in things like databases, and we never work from scripts. So you have to be alert and on your toes and ready to engage. With the hunting, both Lisa and I are very, very good at that, in finding the right type of customer that our clients are dealing with. So we go and try and find more of who they're already dealing with. So that's in a nutshell what we do at the moment, but we've got some developments that we can talk about in a minute.
It's very brave to do those cold calls, because you're absolutely right. It's probably the bottom of most business owners' list to want to do that, and you guys seem to flourish in it. And before I get on to talk to you a little bit more about the pandemic and how that's affected you, A, as a business, and B, personally, presumably then last year's GDPR regulations, did that affect all the cleansing of data and calling of clients?
It didn't have as much of an impact as we had anticipated. I mean, obviously we put processes in, and we were accredited with, and I can't remember what the accreditation is called at the moment, but we need to renew it. So we don't hold data ourselves. The data that we hold is in either the CRMs of the companies we work for, so we just remote in and use that, so they own the data. Where we're working with a client that doesn't have a CRM, we tend to we advise them to use one called Salpo. Now, Salpo is a UK-based company based down in Cheltenham, really easy to get hold of, very good system, but their data is held to the very highest security level because they do a lot of government contracts. We just have to be very, very careful and aware of what we're doing. So obviously data's not passed on. We never, each customer has their own data. We keep that very carefully for them, but it's all in the cloud, so there's nothing that can be hacked into unless they hack
very secure
the cloud. So it wasn't as bad as we thought it would be.
Yes. And I guess as long as those customers are opted in, and as you say, the data is available, then you're carrying out that cleansing and making sure those companies are strong going forward with it.
We are. I mean, apart from those that are registered TPS, which obviously we don't touch, you know, sometimes accidentally we do, but then we apologise and get, you know, and make sure we never contact them again. What we do is, you know, we find a company, we find who the person is that we need to speak to. Say, you know, it could be a marketing manager, it could be a financial director, it could be a sales manager or whatever. And we find them, and usually the company either gives us the email, or, you know, you can deduce it from LinkedIn or whatever. So we only ever phone people in their place of business, with one exception. We got asked to do some B2C last year, which I sort of thought, oh, B2C. But it was for a financial services company, and it's actually would be one of my nicest jobs. They run seminars, so people have already signed up to be contacted, and my job is to phone these people and to set up a meeting with the financial advisor. Well, obviously it's going to have to be face to face through Zoom now and not personally. But that was an eye-opener, because we would never touch cold call B2C, never. It's just we wouldn't do it. But this one, because they've all signed up and agreed to it, was actually, it is, and they're still with us, is a rather nice job to do. I really enjoy that.
Fabulous. It sounds like every client work you get is very different from the last then.
Yeah, we've got no duplicates in the types of clients.
Yep.
And they vary in what they want and what they want us to do. They also realise that our business is 100% based on trust. They have to trust us that we will deliver what we've said we're going to deliver. And with CRMs and that, they can see the activity, and we always update them on what we've done and how we're doing. And obviously any leads that come through, we pass them on immediately. So that's how we tend to work with the clients. And we talk to them every week and to make sure everything's okay.
Good. I'm glad. I mean, how has the pandemic and lockdown, how did it affect you? Did you close the business? Did you furlough? Did you continue? How have you got through, Liz?
On the run-up to the 23rd of March, we'd already detected that companies were not wanting to talk. Everybody was anxious about what was going to happen, were we going to be furloughed, you know, what the government was going to do about this, trying to control the spread of this virus. So I took a decision on the Monday, before we got the official notification on the Tuesday, that we were going to cease doing what we were doing, because A, we knew it was wasting our clients' time because people didn't want to talk, So we basically sent out an email on the Monday saying, look, we're going to stop now and just see what's going to happen, because I have a feeling everything's going to be put in shutdown. Well, lo and behold, 24 hours later, it was. Okay, so after the initial sort of few days, week or so of sitting around thinking what's going on, I went into a bit of a spiral, and I found I couldn't think about the business. I didn't know whether we'd have a business. My daughter took on responsibility for getting us furloughed. So basically we put the business on ice. And I couldn't bring myself to even go to the office, to even open an email or anything. I just couldn't. It was, I don't know, it was like a mental block. Mm. And one thing and another, it wasn't until last Sunday night with Bojo announcing his very unclear guidelines, I thought, well, damn it. We know furlough is up on the 26th of May. Mm-hmm. So I am going into the office to get things prepared. So I went in on Monday and I initially contacted all my clients, and then started to reconnect with colleagues and friends and this, that and the other, and said, we're coming back on the 27th. Do you still want us to work with you? And it's been yes, 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 yes. So we are absolutely thrilled that we know we've got a nucleus of clients that we can work with immediately, once we get back in on the 27th. For that, we are hugely grateful. But we also understand and can see from LinkedIn and all sorts of things that marketing is going to be key. Okay, we don't do online marketing, but we do a more hands-on, more personal type of marketing than a lot of companies are offering. So we've had a little bit of time to review our services, and normally it's a relationship and it's an ongoing thing, and we make calls half a day or a day a week for a company, but from now on we're going to be doing some one-off services like database cleansing. Can't believe how many people haven't spring cleaned their databases. I'm going to offer a service that, say, can follow up on a mail campaign or an email campaign. So we're going to offer about 2 or 3 one-off services that people can just buy, users, and then pick us up at another time. So we think that will strengthen our offer, make us not quite so reliant on that long-term relationship. So yeah, going forward, quite optimistic that we would have the remainder of quite a good year, I think.
And I think, Liz, that there's a few key things that make that work. I mean, first of all, you offer a wonderful service. You have an excellent reputation, so I'm not surprised clients stay with you. Secondly, you might not do online marketing, but we definitely do it for you. So,
yes.
The brand is out there, and that's part of being part of the Share family. I think there is a huge sense of support between the people that form our network across the county. Lots of businesses sticking with people, local suppliers, and trying to help each other out and offer lifelines, and being mentally supportive as well. It's refreshing to hear that. Okay, and I'm really pleased about your honesty, actually, to say that it's very brave of you to say I spiraled out, closed the business, couldn't face it. Did you use that time then, Liz, to switch off and get your mental health up to speed and relax and spend time on you? Or was it still a blur of we're not quite sure what's going on?
I switched off totally. I think I adopted the ostrich position, head in the sand. I didn't know what was going to happen any more than anybody else. And we'd had one of our clients go down very suddenly, and that was a bit of a shock. And we just thought, well, who is going to be left when we get back out there again?
Yeah,
that was a huge question. And I think I kept away from it. I did try and engage with I'm a huge supporter of the Business Network, best networking event there is. And I did try and engage one day, but I joined it a little bit about 4 weeks into when it had started. And I was suddenly in a room with, virtual room with people who are lovely, but they got ahead of me on the game. They'd perhaps gone through the morning thing, and were very positive about what they were doing. And I actually left that group in tears, because I thought, well, that's not me. I'm not there yet. So I was a bit slow on that. And it wasn't their fault. It was just the mental place I was in. And I mean, I know how important mental health issues and being mentally healthy is. And I think I went through a bit of a bad period, and then I'd have a few good days, and then I'd have a few bad days. But I have to say, got back on Monday and just back up there again with enthusiasm, and I just want to crack on.
I think in the main, Liz, a lot of people are going through different emotions in their business, and some people, not through trying to put a cover on it. Some people are coming across very positive, whether business is positive or not, and that's to keep themselves upbeat, to keep themselves focusing positively. And I think, in the main, lots of us have to do that. I think if it went on much longer, some of us would start losing faith. And you're right, it isn't the belief in our own businesses, it's how many people out there once this thing is over. And we're already hearing in our circles some real tragic stories of companies that have been there 20, 30 years, serving a local community, and suddenly gone, despite all the government support. And those people, when they're in your network, actually become friends, not just people you work with, and that makes it even more tragic. So I'm sorry to hear that you've lost some in your network, because we've heard quite a few stories. On the upside, what's been wonderful is so many businesses reaching out with offers of support and help and funding, and people pulling together, and again reiterates why centralising all this information for everyone to access is critical, and I thank you for being part of that.
No, it's great to have a 1 point, of reference. It's there, and we can access it. And we need to make a lot more use of it than we perhaps have done in the past, because I think you're absolutely right. This is now time for local businesses to pull together and help each other out, even if it's just how are you doing.
Absolutely. And I mean, the purpose of the platforms is, if you've got a piece of advice, if you've got a piece of funding, if you've got a job opportunity, if you've got a contract, if you need a supplier, by centralising those, if we all did a little bit, it means we can all dip into that pool as well. So I appreciate your honesty in terms of your business journey. I'm going to delve a little bit into the Liz McMichael that is underneath and the person too. Thank you again for being honest about how you felt when lockdown arrived. Have you been able to spot opportunities in it as well, Liz? You talked about producing new offers on from the business perspective. Were they easy to find?
They were sort of stuff that we did but didn't necessarily tell people about. It's some of what we do is the bedrock of, in order to be able to do to do the calls and to do all of that, you've got to have cleansed the database, or you've got to have picked the phone up and made follow-up calls, or you've got to sort of put all your business cards in one place and got them onto a spreadsheet and decided to do something about them. And what we find is people don't do that. It's one of those things, we'll put it off, A, because we don't like it, or B, we haven't got the time. So in order to diversify our services and our incomes, if you parcel those up, we can see that as an opportunity. That people who don't necessarily want to use us ongoing for calls might just use us on the odd occasion to actually get the work done and get it sorted. They may come back to us for other things, but we've never taken up that opportunity for these little bits of services that we can do, and we do very well. So from the 27th, we will be we're getting ready to ramp up our social media activity to put those services out there.
And are you feeling excited about coming back, Liz? Is that rest done you good to switch?
Aren't I sad?
You are ready to re-engage, are you?
I am. I mean, the lockdown or shutdown has shown me I really, really do not want to retire, and I'm beyond retirement age, and I actually have an old age pension, which is fun. So I'm very, very optimistic, and we're looking. I was actually talking to Julie Strahan this morning at Edge Hill, and there's an online course that I think I'm going to do that might help me refocus. And then we're talking to people like Paul Lim, Action Coach, about possibly using his gifted coaching service, just to sort of have an explore as to what we're doing. I think the time has come to review the business, and that's another thing that's been useful about having to stop
Yes.
Is that you've got a chance then to reshape it and make it do things that perhaps you've got into a bad habit of not doing, like strategic reviews, business planning. I mean, Paul was challenging me on some of the sort of figures and this, that, and the other, and I just went, I don't know. I leave that to Lisa.
Oh dear. I mean, there are some fabulous businesses around us that are offering lots of advice and support, and actually they are gifting that as well. You know, everybody seems to be doing the little bit to help a fellow business, as well as keeping themselves alive and flourishing along the way. I think things will definitely change going forward. And I think
there's going to be a new business landscape. And you know, I mean, obviously a lot of people are deciding that they can trust people to work from home, so there's going to be that element. And reduced journey times and not wasting time to go to a meeting. People are going to just do exactly what we do, have a Zoom call. It just saves so much time.
It really does.
And I think that there are going to be a lot of opportunities out there. I think there will be casualties.
Yes.
I don't want to be one of those casualties. And I think that we've definitely got, I know it's going to take us a bit of time to come out of this, but I do see that there's time for optimism. Now, I couldn't have said that last week. I couldn't have said that to you last week at all. If you'd spoken to me this time last week, I couldn't have done what I'm doing now. I literally put myself on hold. I put the business on hold. But now we've got the opportunity to resurrect it, get it going, and full of life and enthusiasm to do it. And I'm hoping a lot of people, when they realise life will go on.
Well, Liz, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Before I let you go, please let me know, how can people get in touch with IQ for Business?
Now, if I can remember the phone number, I can't remember the 01200 number. I just seriously can't. I always use my mobile.
Well, I'll make it nice and easy. They can find you on lancashire.co.uk, where your business that proudly. The range of services, the feedback I get from other people that use your services is incredible.
Thank you.
You've been a great business associate, but a fabulous friend for many years as well. I appreciate you taking time out, and more so your honesty.
You'll always get that from me, Lisa, you know that.
This is exactly why I chose you to come and chat to us, Liz, because you hold no airs and graces and you say it as it is, which is absolutely refreshingly wonderful to hear. I wish you all the very best going forward. Remember the Share family are there, and there are lots of support on there. And a big thanks for your contribution to it as well.
Well, thank you for that. But I think what it has allowed me to do, again, having had a break, is really start to use the Share side of things an awful lot more. I know it's always been there, but I think it's now time to harness it, which is something we haven't done and we will be doing.
Well,
and recommending it as well.
So thrilled, because they are the digital business platform, and I feel so blessed that you and hundreds of others helped us to develop that, because that certainly kept me and my family alive during lockdown, and it's given me the opportunity to help a lot of other businesses and pass forward your services, funding and anything else our members share with those who really need it right now. So big thanks for coming out today, Liz.
It's a pleasure.
In the sense of the
coming out.
Hopefully I'll see you in person in a few weeks' time, and until then, keep driving and keep sharing.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.